Cool little cute thing to start on. So this is our building right here.
Okay.
You just came in this door right here.
Sweet.
And then here is the hallway that we're in, and we'll go through. And then this is our main hallway, and we have all of our grow rooms off the back, and then all of our various veg, mom, lab rooms on this side.
Okay. Sweet. I like how you got the layout and everything.
Right. That's cute, right? Yeah. Then we've got just some of our brands up here. Always got our happy birthday signs and the team. And then this is women's and men's, so we'll meet you right through. Just go straight through this, and we'll meet you on the other side. Okay. It's just one. So this is our break room. This is where you'll see everyone hanging out during the day, having a snack, having a little bit of food. And then we can go into our main hallway. Just do a quick little step back there, if you would. All right. So this is our main hallway. We have 8 rooms going off the side of each. Each one can hold anywhere between 1,000 to 1,400 plants. So somewhere around 10,000 plants in the whole room.
Sweet.
And right now, even numbers are on. We have 2, 4, 6, and 8. Our lights are on a rotating schedule, so we'll go check out an even room.
Okay. Damn, I can tell by the light.
And so, as you'll notice here, we're 2-tiered. We have 1 to 2 rooms that are always going to be single-tiered. We like to put our long ones that will stretch in those rooms, our sativas, etc. Okay. But most of our rooms are 2-tiered with plants on top and bottom.
Wow. So does that like help make the produce more with it being like plants here and plants down?
Yeah, and helps us not just be bound to a certain amount of strains, certain amount of plants. That way we can test different stuff out. Sometimes on the 2 tiers, you'll probably notice we have different lights even on the 2 tiers where we're testing out different kinds of lights and our new lights as well. So it just kind of gives us a little bit more freedom.
Yeah.
And we can really, like with these things, we can really dial in where everything is placed in the room so it's getting the proper amount of humidity, wind, etc. So it really helps cater to the plant as well.
Super effective.
Yeah. Yep. Got a little bit of our apple tarts hybrid on the bottom and our Danimals on the top.
With the apple tarts and with the other strand, what do you like about those strands?
I love our Danimals. It's got a very creamy, almost yogurty kind of interesting, cream pie, sherbet cream pie kind of indica profile. Very dessert, very sweet and cream forward. And then apple tarts is just an absolute classic. That's super tangy, green apple kind of sour vibe.
Nice. And what stage are the plants in now? Like, how long did it take to get to this point of?
I believe we are about 2 months in.
Okay.
I'm not always the most sure on that. I just have a very minimal amount of grow experience. I think we're about 2 months in.
Okay.
How far along is this room, Dannon?
Yeah.
How far along are we in this room?
Day 30.
Day 30. Oh, so we're 1 month in.
Okay.
Yep.
Day 30.
This is Dannon. He's our
Nice to meet you.
He's our spraying specialist. Thanks so much for having us, Dannon.
Oh, absolutely.
Anything we should check out in here?
No, this room looks fantastic. Everything.
Everything's looking good?
Everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, this room's great.
Beautiful.
I'll grab some gloves so we can give things a little touch and squeeze.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. This is nice. This is nice.
Yeah, so feel free to give anything a little squeeze. It won't have too much smell going on, but at least it'll be the start of those terps, What do we got down below? This is that apple tart still, so yeah.
How do you choose your strands? And you were explaining that.
Absolutely. So it is just a combination of what does best in the garden as well as what smokes the best and tastes the best, has the terps. So we've whittled it down from somewhere around 60 to we're trying to get it closer to 20, 25, find all the perfect strains so we can continue with some consistency throughout our brands.
Nice.
Yeah, we grow a lot of both of these. Blackberry is one of our main strains. Blackberry is one of the few that we do all across the board in all of our products. So our hash rosin, our carts, our moon rocks, our everything is going to have a little hint of blackberry oftentimes.
Sure. Is this like a cross strand? The
Yeah.
blackberry?
Yeah, so blackberry is actually a super boof cut. It's just a different pheno of super boof. Ours is just like the blackberry pheno of super boof.
Nice. Yeah. And what about this one? The Don.
So yeah, that's our Don Mega. It's another one that is in a little bit of everything. So from hash rosin, it washes the best. They really like it in the lab because the trichomes are perfect for washing. And so that's in a little bit of everything as well. Like the wax will go into our donuts, or we'll have carts with it. A little bit of everything as well.
Gotcha.
Looks like most of it's all blackberry down here, I think. Oh, we've got some Max Stomper up top, which has been looking great. It's got that lemon lime, like almost kind of Spritey kind of vibe.
Which
almost. This Max Stomper up here. As you can see, even though we're only 30 days, that one's already stacking nice internodal spacing. It always turns out looking really good.
What's your favorite strand in this room?
Honestly, I would probably say that Max Stomper. It's like the most heavy-hitting indica in the whole room, I would say. Even though it has that citrusy profile, it's still very heavy, which I like.
I love that heavy strand.
Yeah, I want to feel it behind my eyes. So.
And then this,
the peach crescendo is also very heavy, nice, stony indica. So yeah, it's got that subtle peach, very subtle sweetness, very like floral sweetness on the back end. Very cool.
How do you find the actual strands that you guys grow in this room?
We source our genetics from a lot of different places. So yeah, we source genetics from all over the country. We start from seed. I'll show you guys our mother room later where we have stock. But we source our genetics from all over. We're not too. We like to keep it diverse, you know.
Right.
Yep.
Can I smell?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think? Yep. This one will be the peach.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that one smells nice, right? Oh yeah, that one's nice and tangy and sweet. Awesome. We'll go check out some.
What's your?
I was just saying the best one in this room. I'll take right here.
The Mac. Yep, that's what I was just saying. He asked me what my favorite was.
What's your favorite one?
The best one in this room.
Yep.
That's not even really a close second. That one's so good.
So who would be the second?
If I'm going to pick a second, I'm going. I would either go blackberry or Don Mega.
Yep.
Why those?
I just think they smell great. I think they taste fantastic. They end up actually washing really well, so it works good in our lab too. But just as a smoker, I think they smoke fantastic. We got a couple of pheno hunts going on here at the end.
Oh, we got some new stuff down there, Dana?
I'm excited to see how that turns out. But I'm going to have a new favorite on Flavor Flav, and I think it's the yellow sushi.
Oh yeah, that yellow sushi has been looking good.
I think this is round 2 of the yellow sushi. The Flavor Flav brand.
Can I split these, Dana?
Absolutely. So
Feel free to go down and check out the new ones if you'd like.
Now we're running a whole row. We also had a blue sushi. I didn't love that one much.
What makes this yellow one like fire to you?
To me, it was the smell.
Okay.
When I compared the blue to the yellow, the smell just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, the blue was like almost creamier. This one's more like tropical, sweet, spicy. The blue was almost more like desserty, almost.
I get what you mean by that.
It kind of left a weird aftertaste.
Like a sweet, like a too rich sweet.
Yeah, it was very like creamy. That very much like that kind of sure profile vibe.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of numbers as far as yield, but just like as a smoker, once again, it just blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
What's the Flavor Flav like? How's that looking? It smelled good last time.
It's still kind of early. I actually thought this was first run. So you're telling me it's number 2?
Yeah, yep. I've seen it at 7 a while ago.
To me,
I
this
think.
was brand spanking new.
Was
Okay.
the yellow Dutchie, was that like a cross?
I believe so, but don't ask me between what and what. I believe it is. I think it came over from like California.
Okay.
I think the sushi flavors are gigantic over on that side.
There's
of the
all the
country.
Z's and stuff.
And we're trying to like
Integrate
it's
it,
kind of like newer to me at this moment. I'm gonna be honest with you, the newer strain. So I can't tell you what it's cross between.
I understand.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the schedule to see what the cross was.
This is nice.
Yeah, our big man director, he's running around here somewhere. His name's Brandon. He'll know a little bit more. Than
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's funny you said Max Amber because I was just saying the same thing. I'm like, it's the heaviest, but also still has the flavor profile.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to pick favorites. But I'll tell them anyway.
Yeah, and it stacks the stacks the nicest. Which of the evens is the furthest along, Dannon? What's the
6 is brand new. I think it's gonna be 4 now.
4?
No, 8. Sorry.
8. Okay, we'll probably just go down there next.
I do think the flower team's in that working, which is totally fine.
Okay.
Might not be able to move as many things, but you can
Okay.
walk around.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Enjoy, guys.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. We'll wander on down to 8 because I just asked Dannon, and that one is the most full.
Okay.
So that one will be a little bit further along.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we'll do a couple grow rooms on this side, and then we'll swing back and check out all the production, hang room, all that stuff,
So,
etc.
as far as the location of where we are, what made this location like the best location to have this business here?
Chesning has been really friendly to all the grows. So yeah, we're a small village. We were one of the first to opt in.
Okay.
And so that really allowed this like kind of little cannabis industrial area to flourish. This actually, just this road, has 4 different cannabis businesses just on this little property.
And do you guys ever collab or?
We've collabed with a couple cannabis businesses in town. We've collabed with Canopy in
Okay.
town, but that's about it, I think.
Okay.
Here, we'll stop in here just because it's kind of fun.
Okay.
So this is our big freezer where we keep all our fresh frozen. So this is where stuff gets frozen right before we take it down to wash. So at any given moment, we'll have this whole giant industrial freezer filled to the brim with fresh frozen to turn into hash rosin.
Sweet.
So we have cold chain technology. So every step along the way is cold, from when we take it down to immediately flash frozen to when we wheel it down to the lab. You'll notice when we go down to the lab that it's freezing in there.
Yeah.
It's an interesting work environment. So we just try to keep everything cold so we can keep the stability and the quality up.
So, as far as with the hash rosin, what is the difference between preparing that versus like a regular plant grow?
So we are entirely solventless. So it
Okay.
is just heat and pressure and cold that is going to create our hash rosin. So
Nice.
it is one of the most natural, quote unquote, organic kind of ways that you can produce a concentrate. So we just agitate the trichomes off when when it's cold and when we're washing it off, and then we squeeze that into the hash rosin.
Nice.
So it's nice to have a solventless, pure, clean product that we can give to people.
For sure. How come you feel like that's not as common in different products?
Because the margin of error is definitely slimmer. You got to have really nice product. As Dannon was alluding to, you got to have nice strains that like to wash. Some of them just don't knock off their trichomes very well. You know, they kind of like hold on to them.
Yeah.
Where that Don Mega, the trichomes are really big and loose, and so they just come right off. And they always say that they got to have fat heads and weak necks. Like you want a trichome that's got a fat head and a weak neck, so it'll just fall off. You know,
That's a good illusion. I like that.
All right. Got the team jamming out in here doing some de-leafing. So this is flower room 8. This is the furthest one along that we got. Looks like we got a lot of new, fun, exciting stuff in here. I really like this curveball. It's almost got like a overripe fruit kind of note. It's almost like mango when it gets really ripe and piney kind of vibe, you know?
Have you tried this one before?
It looks like, yeah, it looks like we got at least about 4 or 5 rows of it. Yeah, and it's looking pretty good. It looks like it's stacking pretty well. And then yeah, Blicky is new. I've never tried that one, so that'll be fun. That'll be exciting.
Okay.
How we doing, y'all? Very well, thank you. Oh, we've got our Platinum Light Pack down here. As you can see, that's stacking really nice. That one's probably one of the furthest along. That's another one of the strains you'll find in just a little bit of everything. We have Platinum Light Pack in our rosin, Platinum Light Pack in our donuts. That's kind of one you'll see common thread as well.
Yeah. Is that across as well?
Yeah, I believe that is Platinum Kush Breath Remix by Lifehack. Yeah.
So, I know we walked past some of the people working with the plants. What stage are they? What are they doing with the plants?
They are deleafing right now, so they are just making that, making sure that we have the proper amount of leaves, so that everyone's getting the proper amount of airflow and wind is moving through nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about this Mac and Gary?
So that one is actually very similar to the Mac Stomper that we were looking at earlier. It's got that same kind of lemon lime kind of vibe. It just is maybe a little bit sweeter, creamier. So yeah, very similar between the Mac and Gary and Mac Stomper, honestly, to the point where I think we might be getting rid of the Mac Gary and just going with the Mac Stomper.
Right.
Because that one is beautiful.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Oh, we've got our Sunset Soap down here.
Okay.
Which that's a nice hybrid. That one's looking really nice. That'll also kind of have that tropical fruit kind of vibe, almost like overripe, creamy fruit kind of vibe.
Right.
Munions is another one that we see in a lot of our strains, or in a lot of our products. That'll have like a lemony, very like pine sol kind of vibe, that astringent lemon cleaner kind of vibe.
Yeah. Which one was that you just said?
That's our Munions. So yeah, that one's up top. And yeah, that one you'll see all across the board in our donuts, our wax, everything.
Gotcha. I really like how this one looks.
Yeah, that one's beautiful. The Sunset Soap
Like
stacks
got the
very
orange
well.
hairs and they got the the blonde hairs too. This is nice. And these are the same strands down here?
Yeah, it looks to be mostly Sunset Soap, Onion. Oh, we've got our lemon cherry pie. We've got a couple rows of lemon cherry pie. Oh, that one is almost looking a little smaller though. But it has a really nice terp profile. It's very much like, yeah, bright lemon with a little bit of cherry.
And is this cross as well?
Yeah, I believe that is lemon icebox or something lemon by icebox pie, I think.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so a couple lemon strains in the room.
Can I smell this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that one's like lemon cherry with a little bit of gas kind of vibes.
Have you tried the lemon cherry before?
Yeah, I really like that one, and it's hybrid, but it has a nice heavy stone on it too. So
yeah, this is nice.
All right, shall we? And then down here, we've got the tech down here. So this is our rhythm system. This is what automatically feeds all the rooms.
Okay.
And so it's super slick. Allows these guys to not have to hand water, just got to mix up their batch, and rhythm system will feed everything automatically.
What is the name of the system in general?
Rhythm is the brand name.
Okay.
Yep.
And how long have you guys been using Rhythm?
We started with Rhythm. Yeah,
Okay.
yep, yeah.
Nice.
So through power outages and thick and thin and the whole 9 yards, Rhythm has been there for us, and it's pretty slick. So
Would you say like they're one of the premier brands?
Definitely, yep, yeah. We sourced a lot of different things to see what would fit best in the house, and these guys came out the winners.
Nice.
So down here is fulfillment. This is where orders go out. At any given moment, you'll see orders lined up all over the tables before Andrea and Bailey ship them out. Thanks, guys.
Hello.
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 And we'll check out some mother rooms. So here we have our mother room.
Okay.
Where we keep our stock. So this is where we'll be taking clones from, etc. This is where all our genetics are housed. Got a bunch of beautiful mothers in here.
Wow, it is, yeah. And it's all too.
These are the parents to the whole facility.
Could you just talk about how important this room is in particular?
Yeah, so it's incredibly important to take good care of your stock. You only want to source genetics from the absolute best mothers. We cull about every couple months, every 2 months, 3 months, just to make sure that these are all on the tip of top. And if something's looking strained or like it can't support more clones, etc., we'll cull it and we'll try to get some new genetics in here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we try to keep our moms happy and healthy.
Yeah.
Got a beautiful Danimals mother right there that's looking good. Honestly, I think we've had apple tarts since the beginning. So in some form or another, I don't know if it's been the same mother, but we've had apple tarts for 5 years.
How long does the mother last for?
We tend to keep it around every year or so, or yeah, every 2 years before we absolutely have to switch. Usually, I think. It's nice to see them growing so tall.
Yeah.
Nice to see them stretch.
What's the tallest you've seen?
I would say some of these are definitely some of the tallest that we've ever been getting. Some of these moms are looking absolutely massive. It's very cool. We got some nice healthy stock in here. You're right.
As far as like the soil, is there any type of nutrients that y'all
So we use Athena nutrient line, and that just runs through the rhythm system. So we just mix up our different batches from Athena, and then we just send it right through the rhythm system.
Yeah, this is some tall ones right here.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Which ones are these?
This one is. Oh, it's another Danimals mom. So we've got a couple of Danimals right up front here. What is this? Platinum Life Hack. So that one's also one that's been around a while. We have a lot of Platinum Life Hack. There's that Max Stomper we were talking about earlier. Looks like we got a couple of those. Yeah, looking good in here.
Sweet. Thank you.
Oh, and then here is always a nice little visual. So here is our strain board. So here's where you can see pretty much everything that's going to be coming down in all the rooms for the next few weeks. Super excited about these blueberry ones in one. Blueberry Cushman's Blueberry Muffin. That blueberry muffin has a true blueberry vibe to it.
I love blueberry muffin.
Really like that. Our berry bonds, people are really excited about. It's super got that almost like Trop Cookies, rindy, citrus kind of vibe. Berry citrus, almost like grapefruit kind of vibe.
What about the GMO?
GMO Crasher. That one is nice. That one's almost got that like overripe fruit smell as well, like that mango-y, tropical, like papaya kind of vibe as well. People love our log cabin. That's like one of the closest to like a true OG that I found. You know, it's very close to that limey, Cali kind bud OG kind of vibe. Slurricane has been looking great. Our G13 skunk, we just entered into the Best in Grass competition.
Okay.
So excited to see how that one looks again coming out. Our Lemon Oreos is also a proprietary cut that we just entered into the Best in Grass competition. That one's a nice astringent lemon sativa. So,
can you talk a little bit more about the first one you say you submitted in the Best in Grass?
yeah, so that G13 skunk we submitted as an indica to Best in Grass, and for an indica, it's actually got a very interesting, bright, like skunky profile, where like normally that equates to the sativa-y kind of vibe. The G13 is very like gassy, old school skunk kind of vibe. So we thought that might be unique for indica. It might stand out amongst a bunch of blueberry, you know, and the indica stuff. Yeah, for sure. A bunch of cream pie kind of vibes, you know. So we thought that one would be unique for an indica.
For sure. So what is the process like when you enter your products in like competitions or?
So we just went through the rooms and figured out what was going to be coming down around the time that we had to enter into Best in Grass, and we just chose our favorite ones out of there. So when it was a month or so ago and we had to enter, we just found the G13 skunk, I think in 7 when that came down last, and then saved some of the other ones out of the other rooms, and then just put our best foot forward that way.
How do you like the Slurricane?
I really like that Slurricane. And it's interesting because we've all had Slurricane. You know, like Slurricane's been around for a while, and I feel like that is reaching its full potential. You know, like it was nice to have something to go off of. Like I had expectations, and that is truly getting close to its full potential, I would say. The Apollo is also a really nice sativa. It's got that almost like cheesy Jack hair funky vibe, you know, that kind of vibe that sativas get. People really like that.
Is that across?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head what that Apollo is off the top of my head. But yeah, it's got some very interesting cheesy kind of Jack hair notes, very funky kind of vibe.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, here's our little strain wall. It's always nice to see and get excited about what's coming down.
What about the Sherbanger?
Yeah, that Sherbanger is that kind of classic Sherb cream pie kind of vibe. It has a little more fruit to it, a little more like zest and sweetness, but it's still very much that creamy, nice, sugary dessert profile.
Gotcha.
Yep. We really like that. Tagalogs, the Apollos in the key room, cool, awesome. Tagalongs and Gastronaut are 2 newer strains that we're trying out that I think it'll be one or the other once we decide on those ones.
The truffle cake and the blueberry Kush Mints?
So the truffle cake is another one of those ones that you'll see in like everything for us, so that it washes good in the room for hash rosin. We put it in donuts. The flour looks great. So that is also one of our very like, you know,
top
you know, top 5 or so. Like I would probably say like Don Mega, the Apple Tarts, the Platinum Life Hack are some of the ones that we grow the most and are always in like kind of everything. The Blackberry are kind of always in everything. Animal Tree also kind of in a lot of stuff. And yeah, that Blueberry Kush Mints, same kind of vibe as the Blueberry Muffin, but just that little bit of menthol and flora sweetness that you get with like Kush Mints.
Gotcha.
Very cool. Yep, I'm really excited about all the stuff that we got coming down.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it and try it. Yeah.
Have you guys had any Candela or anything yet? Have you guys tried any Six Labs or Candela stuff?
I believe that I have.
A couple things.
I want to say it was one of these strands that was on the that's on this list, but I know for sure I have because I've been to events and I've been to different dispensaries where I've definitely seen Candela for sure.
And it smoked all right? Everything smoked all right?
Yeah.
Good. So next we'll check out some of more of our production-based rooms.
Okay.
So we'll go into like the trim rooms where we, the hang room where we hang plants, and just kind of that more back-end production kind of stuff.
Okay.
I heard you say it, but I didn't.
So we just got this brand new big shiny pre-roll machine, and it makes me think of the Wonka factory every time I look at it. It looks like we're making everlasting gobstoppers in here. So this is where the part of production where we'll start our pre-rolls.
Okay. How you doing?
So yeah, this is the Accelerant Pro 2, and we just got this, and it's just getting cranking now.
How many? How much production can you do with this machine compared to like the old school days where people just had to like hand roll
This
them?
like 5x star production, I think. Yeah.
So how many could you do like a day with this machine?
How many can this do in a day, Rich?
We're still kind of learning it, but I think they're doing about 3,000-4,000 a day. Wow. Very low.
Yeah, that's the beginning stages of it. Cool.
We're looking at probably over 100,000 a month. Well, if it's running smooth and
Yeah.
Yeah. We're very excited about this.
Yeah, for sure.
Quietness, everything about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the fact that it's not
like
whirring and.
We're so loud.
Yeah.
Awesome, exciting stuff. Okay, we'll go check out the cure room. Oh, mind if we pop in here, Max? All right, so here is our cure room. This is admittedly my favorite room in the house. If I had to play favorites, it's like a weed wine cellar. So this is where all the finished product will come in. It's perfectly temperature and humidity controlled. We have our cure tubes here, which we absolutely adore.
Nice.
Keep everything on the up and up and keep our cure perfect. We try to, at least at the very minimum, do like a 2-week cure, if not a little bit longer. And yeah, we've got some new, fun, exciting stuff in here. Oh, we can check out some of that blueberry Kush mints we were talking about. Here, I'll grab us some new gloves. Quick.
So for the people who don't know, what exactly is the curing process?
So the curing process is after it gets done and trimmed, you want the moisture and the terpenes to settle in. So the curing process allows for the perfect mixture of humidity and temperature to allow the flavor to settle in the best.
Nice.
I'm sure there's some more eloquent science behind it, but that is my novice my novice description. So here is some of that blueberry Kush mints, and feel free to get in there and smell those and give those a squeeze. We can also look at some log cabin, maybe.
Yeah, and they got like nice size nugs too.
Yeah, yep. So our Candela line is all A buds, so it'll actually goes through the sorting table, and it will get sorted out into A's and B's, and anything smaller than the A's is what's going to go into like our donuts, or we may wash it for hash rosin, et cetera, et cetera. Where like the big A buds will go exclusively into our Candela products.
Sweet. What places can people buy the products exclusively?
So Candela is available at NAR, Exclusive, Planted Provisioning. We've got a lot of partners all throughout the state. We're available in Knox. You can find us in almost every little corner of the state, at least in a couple places. Available at the fire station in the UP for our UP friends, and we're available in a lot of places in the southern half of Michigan, down like by Monroe and stuff, etc.
Nice, because I think you talking about planting in Flint, right?
Yep, we're at Planted in Flint in Bay City. Is it? Okay, yep.
I got a friend who does a lot of different like vendor events and stuff like that, and I think that's where I got the donut.
That store's always jamming. That store's always busy. This is our beautiful log cabin. That log cabin is looking absolutely lovely in there. I really like that. Yeah, it has that like true OG kind of lemony, zesty, spicy, whatever OG is. That's so hard to pinpoint.
Yeah, you got a lot of different smells to it.
Yep, yeah.
You got like an earthy undertone, like where you know that it's strong. Yeah, like a lot of people, a lot of weed these days, like kind of miss those kind of like OG kind of smells where you know, like okay, people be wanting it to smell like too fruity,
right?
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of the best stuff don't have that like extra kind of
Absolutely.
scent to it. Yeah.
Yeah, very natural terp profile.
Yeah, for
very
sure.
very much classic Cali, but you know, like when before weed even had name, you know, when it was just chronic, you know, when just good weed would come through and it didn't even have name, you know,
Yeah,
it was just chronic. Yeah. This lemon Oreos is also looking really good. This is our proprietary lemon Oreos. This will have that astringent lemon kind of bite. Oh yeah, that's berry lemony in there.
Yeah, very lemony.
Yeah, that one's nice.
This is actually like really nice. Like this one kind of touched my nostrils a little bit as far as like this smell. Some about this smell right here just like take me back. Like I like this. I like that smell.
What's your flavor profile usually? What do you gravitate towards normally when you shop?
I try to keep an open mind to do everything, but that lemony or like super citrusy type of buds always kind of like catching my ear.
The brighter stuff.
Yeah, like even the brighter stuff. Some of the stuff that look a little different too, but like it just has some
brighter like flavor profile, that very zesty. That alive. It smells very alive and bright.
Yeah.
And let's check out this sherbet cream pie. This one will have that like almost the opposite of what we're talking about. More of that like cream dessert kind of gassy funk. That's usually my kind of vibe. I do kind of like that creamy gas.
I like it because once you smoke it and you feel it, it has that kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it has a certain aftertaste where you be like, it's different every time, and I like that.
Yep. Yeah, that's usually the vibe I'm going for, is that creamy kind of sherbanger kind of vibe.
Yeah. I see that, like, sherbs have always been kind of fire, but I see in the last few years a lot more people are willing to buy sherbs, and people are like sherb crazy a lot more now versus like back in the day.
Right, they trust that lineage. They trust that most things are going to smell like at least something like that. You know, some kind of creamy, gassy. Yeah, it's been interesting seeing the flow of genetics from like we remember all those like first generation ones, like Purple Punch was around and Sunday Driver was around and all those like first generation ones. And now we're seeing these second generation ones that are everywhere. Sherbs and all that kind of stuff. That is cookies, you know, Cushmans. A lot of stuff's crossed with Cushmans these days. And I know it's interesting to see that.
Yeah. So is it harder to find those older like genetics and strains?
Definitely harder to find them. And then also, do they take to the industrial grow well? So we've tried some of those old classics. We're actually pheno hunting like a pre-98 Bubba right now and like a very classic skunk vibe. And almost just as much as it is hard to find them, do they take to this environment very well has also been something that we've had to factor in. Gotcha. Like the pre-98, I don't think has necessarily took to the industrial grow as well. Gotcha. Yeah. So it's been interesting to see that has just kind of started to come up again, like those very classic old school kind of vibe strains, you know?
So basically you're saying like certain genetics and strands adapt different in certain environments.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, a lot of these have been so carefully sourced and bred that they were born to do this. They were born to be in the sea of green, born to be, you know, in the giant grows, where some of those older ones, they like high pressure sodium instead of LED lights. They like this and that and the other thing. They just aren't quite suited as well to this kind of vibe with the LEDs and the whole lot of plants. Gotcha. Yeah, so that's been interesting to see. And it's been interesting to see genetics like this shine. Like sherbet cream pie, every single time looks absolutely beautiful. You know, like always so strong. So, so perfect. It's been nice to see those come through and just kind of, you know, hold their ground. Yeah. Let's check out this platinum too. Oh yeah, this is always one of the... Oh, on the table, there's some weed on the table? Oh, the Apollo is? Okay, cool. You're good.
I like this one. This one got a different taste.
Yeah, it's almost, what does it smell like to you? To me, it's almost like cushy berry. It's almost got like a little kush, like hazy, kind of earthy kind of
like
vibe.
A cheese undertone. Just slightly, or like, not even, like, you know how some strands have like a cheese or peanut butter, like very like rich and
the
smell.
other side of creamy that's not this, like
Yeah,
a different kind of
yeah.
creamy vibe that's not this. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, is it possible y'all can explain that a little bit more to someone like me who just started smoking within recent years?
Absolutely. So yeah, like it's almost like a little like cushy, cheesy vibe. So it's almost like the hashy flora end of the flower spectrum. So it'll have that kind of like greeny flora, hashy, earthy taste, but then it'll also have some cheesy kind of berry undertones. It's very much like, again, like an old school cannabis profile.
Yeah.
Like things have been tasting like this for a while, kind of,
yeah.
you know, and it's just kind of a new take on that cushy, hashy, berry, cheesy kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's just like it's like the OG strands, but with a pinch, with a twist. But you can't really figure out the twist because I'm sure he can attest to this. It's always different every time. Sometimes you might have that different. The profile is the same, just the touch is a little different.
Absolutely.
Are you guys looking to get more like? Because we're from Detroit, so are you guys trying to expand in different places in Michigan, as far as like with dispensaries and different places?
Yeah, always looking to get more into Detroit. I think we're just in a few stores in Detroit. We're in like Green Door and King of Buds, a couple stores here and there. And yeah, always looking. We'd love to be more on the west side and in the UP. We would love to be everywhere for sure. Traverse City, we've got a couple stores up north that we also like servicing. Yeah, it's good to be all over. We're very lucky. All right, let's see if we got anything else. Oh, we want to look at that slurricane we were talking about. Those ones are...
Yes, sir.
These ones are bees. Bees. And we can still get the smell off some bees. They're just not as big.
So what is the... you said these are bees. What does that mean?
So anything below like a 0.4 or 0.5 is going to get sorted out on the sorting table, and that will go to like those different SKUs. Like it'll go to Moon Rocks, or we'll grind it up for donuts, where the A-buds... Everything over a 0.5 and bigger is going to get put into our pre-packed 8 bags or sold into bulk.
Gotcha.
So those are just like our really nice choice buds.
So you guys pre-pack them here?
Yeah, yep. We do all our production and packaging on site. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that smells nice. Just some tiny little popcorn guys, but you can definitely get the vibe of that slurricane, that spicy, gassy kind of vibe.
Yeah, this is nice. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, that's nice. It definitely feels like it's close to its full potential, right? It definitely feels like we're close to maxing out the slurricane. That's definitely some of the best slurricane I've ever smelled.
And then they're a little bit bigger than popcorn buds. So it's like that's different because I usually see the popcorn buds like more like sharper and smaller. Like these are actually like
still full, but
full
yeah,
bud.
still
Yeah,
natural,
like
full natural looking buds.
Like,
yeah,
no popcorn bud. Like a popcorn bud, it'd be like the end of this. Like this is like, it seemed like almost a full size nut.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, we still try to keep the quality up in our Moon Rocks, Snowballs. We do a couple different.
You want to go in the camera right?
All right. And so, yeah, we divide it into trimmed and untrimmed. So this is like our finished wall. That is our unfinished wall. So everything over there still has leaves on it, and it's just beginning. It's the start of its cure. And then we'll trim it up and flip it back over here.
Gotcha.
This last one we got in here that I don't think we've looked at. Let's see what this... Oh, yeah, Sunset Soap is looking absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, this is fire.
I like those soap genetics too. Again, talking about new genetics that are taking over. I'm anything that's mixed with soap, I'm usually cool with, and you know that it's usually going to have that cheesy kind of funky vibe that it adds to it.
And now I've been seeing those a lot more within like the last 2 to 3 years. Like before then, I never heard of it. Like soap strand or anything. Yeah,
that one's been a cool one to see come up and do its thing. I'm not normally a huge sativa guy, and for sativas, I really like that soap. I really enjoy that. Oh, yeah, that's nice. All right, I think they got some, she was saying they got some of that Apollo on the table over there. We can go check them sorting that out.
Okay.
Oh, the table must be in the other room. Excuse me, Max. So here's our trim room. Everything trimmed by hand. Keep the quality up. Keep everything looking great. How we doing, y'all?
Hello.
What do we got in our bags today? Stink onion, cool. Nice. Outcast inspired strain.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Gotta love it.
I knew the name.
Stink onion. Yeah. Love it.
Nice.
And then this is that Apollo we were talking about. This has that nice cheesy vibe if you guys want to smell in there and check it out. It also has a very interesting shape. It's got that very like classic Jack orange hair kind of shape.
Yeah, it does. Got like a nice size like bud to it.
Yeah, it actually grows colas as opposed to like the little golf balls kind of deal. Yeah, it stacks really nice.
This is nice.
Yeah, I like the cheesy ones too. We were just talking about soap and all those ones over there.
Smell like sauteed onions.
Yeah, the savory ones. Yeah. Faux show. Thanks, Dana. That stankonia looks pretty good in here as well. There's some chunky ones in there. I think that might be one of the better rounds of that. I don't know. Okay, they're over here. Okay, cool. What is that one? Oh, the truffle cake? Oh, yeah. It'd be nice to get a smell on that one. And that one's one of our popular ones. You can find that in a lot of our...
Mm. So different. The profiles are different. Yeah, I like this one though.
Yeah, that one's interesting. Earthy, sweet, kind of hashy.
The earthy undertone.
Yep.
Kind of like rich in smell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Be safe out there.
Absolutely. You too.
Thank you.
All right. And then in one of these rooms, we're doing some bucking. I think. Are we down here, Vanessa?
Sorry, I'm just cleaning.
All good. Oh, we got everything down actually. So just sorry. So just in here earlier, this is where we were hanging, and this is where everything was lined up with weed, and they are actually just getting done with all that bucking and stuff. So normally we'd have about anywhere from 1,000 to 1,400 plants hanging in there. So, and I think the other room doesn't have anything either. We'll go check, but I don't think we must not be hanging anything.
They're raising the poles in there.
Yeah, they're working in there? Okay. So yeah, nothing hanging, unfortunately. It's nice to check that out sometimes. So.
Yeah, I like that process of it too.
All right. And so our last stop on the tour will be the lab. And so that's where we make all of our solventless. That's where we finish our double glazed donuts, our rosin, our cartridges, all the science stuff.
Got you.
Are you guys going to the lab? Okay. Is it cool if we go in there at the same time? Okay. My key doesn't get in there, so I'll let you go. Go ahead, Joe. I would have been knocking. So. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, here is where all our double glazed donuts will get finished, our minis, where we make our rosin. This is where all the fun science happens. This is where the intense work gets done. So you'll see here we're packaging up our double glazed donut. That's probably our most popular product. It's 1.5 total, 1.15 flour, 0.35 concentrate between THCA, keef, and hash rosin. So that one's very popular and people are loving that one. They're just finishing up a round of minis over here. So they've been dusted with keef. They've been tipped. You guys are tipping them with THCA, right? So they're in the process of finishing them up and tipping them with THCA before we package them up into our little minis container. Then you'll see here we have a nice big full tray of regular size double glazed donuts, all finished.
This is nice.
And then I'm gonna grab some rosin for us to check out quick. Nice. Is rosin in here, DJ?
Real cool.
Am I allowed to open these ones? Right? In this one? In this. All right, we'll check out some of these rosins. We were talking about this blackberry earlier and this truffle cake. These are two of the ones that we wash the most, and so we'll check out some of these rosins.
Okay.
We're one of the first solventless labs in the state. We've been running solventless since 2019. Nice. High Times winning in 2020. I always say fire in, fire out. The same super high quality flour that you just saw is going into all these products and into our hash rosin.
Nice.
So here's that blackberry. That's nice, right? That's alive in there. Very citrusy and bright. And
so how do you get it? How do you get it? Can you explain it again? Like, how do you get it to look like this?
Yeah. So it's so blonde because it'll get washed through here. So it's all solventless, and so you put the matter in there, you wash it and agitate it with cold water. That knocks all the trichomes off, and then we have micron filters that we filter all that through so we can get it super blonde. Okay. And then we squeeze that hash down, and that's what makes the rosin.
Nice.
And we'll check out. Oh yeah, there's that truffle cake. There's that earthy, interesting, rich smell you were talking about. That one really shines
got like
in
a
the rosin.
cheese, peanut butter kind of smell to it.
Yep. That one's very interesting. That one's interesting, right?
I like this one. Nice. Oh, that's nice.
Okay, I'll go put these back real quick.
If he, Why are you looking like that?
Thanks, guys.
You can put that one down.
All right.
Thank you. You too.
All right. And that concludes our tour.
Smoke Some Podcast. This is episode whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the visionary mind. I see it. I think it'll make it happen. We got a great guest today. We got a business owner, a cultivator, a man of many traits. I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself.
My name's Cole. I'm from Candela and Six Labs.
Nice. So we just wrapped up the tour of the facility. It's a beautiful facility. Great place, great products. How did you get your start, and how did you grow up, and how did this propel you to do what you are doing now?
So Six Labs was created out of a desire to bring the highest quality cannabis products to the state of Michigan. Our 6 owners came over from Illinois with a desire to bring an awesome facility into our tiny little town of Chesning. I'm born and raised right down the road in Chesning, and so it was super awesome to see this lovely, beautiful, clean, sparkling cannabis facility pop up in my hometown. And they've been nothing but great for my hometown so far.
Nice. Isn't it great to see like people from other places travel to Michigan, because Michigan is just such a great hub for quality cannabis?
Absolutely. Yep. On the up and up in so many ways. It's nice to see Michigan finally getting the praise it deserves for all around, from lakes to Detroit to cannabis. Everything deserves its time in the sun.
For sure. So like, how did you get into cannabis? Like, did you start growing young, or was it just something that you picked up as you progressed?
So me and my brother were always growing at home, and then I was lucky enough to become a trimmer here at Six Labs, and I've just slowly worked my way up at Six Labs until now I'm kind of like a marketing assistant, brand ambassador for Six Labs. Just kind of help with all things on the marketing side. I write the strain descriptions, et cetera, et cetera.
Can you go back? I'm gonna go back in about something that you said, like, could you pinpoint or describe how it is to climb the ladder of a business and see yourself progress and other people appreciate your work and appreciate what you do?
Yeah, yep. So it's just been a slow process. It started out with me just writing a couple descriptions here and there. They knew that I liked poetry and words, and that was kind of the stuff that I did in my spare time. So it started there, and then slowly have just been able to grow into a different role, kind of helping out with the marketing and that side of things. So it's been really cool and really exciting to grow with this company as it's been growing and as our footprint grows bigger in the state of Michigan.
How have you seen the company grow within like the last several years since you've been a part of it?
We started off with just a handful of stores. You know, we originally worked with a lot of different dispensaries just local, and then it's been nice to see our footprint expand to Monroe and Traverse City and the UP, and to be in all of these great stores all the way from New Buffalo to the UP.
Nice. So like what makes Six Labs like the premier brand? Because I know for me, I've come across the products and it's always been top tier, but from your perspective, seeing that your growth within the company, like what makes it the premier brand?
So one of the great things about Six Labs is we have a house of brands, so that allows us to have diversity and still bring premium quality to all of our great products. So we do Candela, which is our super high quality premium brand. There you'll find eighths, moon rocks, snowballs, solventless hash rosin. We also have our Six Labs bulk flower. We also have MI6, which is where our popcorn buds and our smalls go, and where we have some budget-friendly options for pre-rolls. And across all of that, it's connoisseur, craft quality cannabis held to the highest standard. And so it's just really great to see the dedication and commitment to excellence and quality across our entire house of brands at Six Labs.
Got you. So correct me if I'm wrong. So within this facility or within the business and the what you guys do, there's different brands within the actual Six Labs brand?
So Six Labs is kind of like the house of brands, like like how a big corporation does that, right. Like how Kraft has all of its little food brands underneath it. We are Six Labs as total, and then we have our little different cannabis brands with different vibes and different product offerings and different budget options underneath our house of brands. So that allows us to have a little something for everyone. We're able to get good quality cannabis into people's hands across the entire spectrum of consumer.
So what are some of those other brands that are within you guys staple? So
MI6 is our budget-friendly option that is high-quality popcorn in a biodegradable tube. That's one of the things I love about MI6 is its commitment to the environment. We're in a biodegradable tube, which that is, as we know, it's hard to find stuff that is nice and biodegradable. So love that. We also have Candela, which is our premium quality brand. That's where we do hash rosin. You'll see our donuts, our minis, all of our super high quality connoisseur products come out of Candela. And then we also have our Six Labs bulk flower. That's where you'll see our tops and our bulk flower go into our big pound Six Labs bags.
Got you. So I noticed when you were explaining that answer, you stated you kept saying the word connoisseur.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself a connoisseur, and why do you feel like, well, why in today's time in the cannabis community we've kind of strayed away from the actual connoisseur term versus like making it weed more hipster and that type of thing?
So I would definitely consider all of the products that come out of Six Labs to be up to a connoisseur's level, meaning that the flavor profiles are complex and rich and deep. And some of the stuff that we were smelling earlier, it's almost hard to put your nose on it. They're so deep and they're so rich, you know. And that's, I think, one of the things that comes with connoisseur quality is that commitment to the almost unknown aspect of it all, that super high quality aspect to where it's like, what am I smelling? What am I tasting? There's a different flavor profile lurking behind every corner. That's one of the things that I think gives us connoisseur quality on top of high THC percentages, great shape, great color, great sparkle, all the things that we know makes great cannabis. We have all those things, and I think that makes it connoisseur quality.
Got you.
And I think being able to recognize those things and recognize all of those different facets is what makes someone a connoisseur.
Yeah, because I love those grassroots, pun intended, brands where you're going to get some strands that are OG strands. You're going to get some strands you never heard of, but the quality is never misses. And just like you guys brand, where you guys are growing quality weed, donuts, hash rosin, like you guys do a very good job of like keeping that connoisseur craft weed in the industry. And I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
So like, I know for their podcast, it's like kind of different far as marketing, but far as marketing for actual cannabis brand, what are the pros and cons to that? Because obviously on social media, you can only do so much. So what are the alternatives and what are the pros and cons to actually marketing for a cannabis brand?
Yeah, as you touched on with social media, we can only do so much, and it's a very tight line. We're always all walking with social media, as we all can attest to. And yeah, so walking that line is tough, but we do what we have to there, and we try to fill in the gaps where we can. So guerrilla marketing, being on the ground, hanging out in the stores, making sure that everyone is comfortable and taken care of, and their orders are looking good. We like to make sure that we're in the stores and shaking hands with everyone and asking them how everything is looking. We also do, little things like email blasts and stuff like that, just to stay top of mind for people, just to fill in those gaps where social media can't always hit.
Got you. So when people are seeing you or seeing you guys brands in these different stores and at these events, what type of reception do you get when people notice that, hey, these are the guys behind the brand? Like, what type of reception do you get about the flower and just the brand in general?
It seems generally positive. I hope they're not just placating me, but it seems generally positive, and people seem to like the flower, and the donuts always treat everyone well, and usually people are coming up to me and saying that was one of the most intense smoking experiences I've ever had, which is something that we absolutely love to hear, and we strive to deliver that experience for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. So like, with you guys being in this city, like, has the community embraced the brand, and has the community gave you guys like a lot of outward support?
Yeah, so a lot of our people at our facility like to support us and purchase our products, and we have great support just in our facility, even being a larger facility. And then also in Chesning, people have been very receptive. Six Labs has done a lot for the community, from whether it be sponsoring events, or we purchased a bench in town, donated a bench into town. We've done a food drive with the Saginaw Eastside Soup Kitchen, and so we've got a lot of response from our community, while also being able to give back a lot to our community.
Got you. So, like, what would an expansion, or what would the next step in growth look for you guys? Like, continuing this year, having a great year, and then years continuing.
So we're actually just getting our wheels under us in Illinois, and so we just brought to market our MI6 line that we also have in Michigan into market in Illinois, and are working on solely bringing in Candela as well, and then we'll also have some bulk flower available in Illinois. So we have a small production facility in Woodstock, and then we are contracting out our grow in Illinois and getting some of the top of the line flower in Illinois to further some of those brands in Illinois.
What would you say is the difference between the Michigan cannabis market and the Illinois cannabis market?
Ooh, that is a great question. Michigan is definitely, it's very much a hype market in Illinois. So far they're so new and stuff that it's definitely a lot of those multi-state operators and the people who were able to get on the ground first. Right. And so that has its goods and bads, just like any market, where the Michigan is a more seasoned. Yeah. Your customer is a caregiver, like your customer is a person who has enjoyed cannabis for a long time and has been here since things were just medical, since before then. And so just almost just like the age itself shows the difference between the two markets, and the maturity, how you look at it almost.
What do you think the Illinois market can learn from the Michigan market?
They definitely could. As you alluded to, we have such high quality cannabis from top to bottom. I think everyone could learn a little bit about the quality of Michigan cannabis and some of the things that we are able to do in the mitten with our cannabis.
Yeah, for sure. So seeing that Ohio is not legal, would you guys have you guys talked or whatever try to expand to Ohio?
That would be awesome. We would definitely love to one day expand into Ohio.
For sure.
That would be very cool.
What do you think the benefits would be, seeing that we just talked about Illinois being new, Ohio being super new.
Right.
Like, what type of benefits would you see that some of the Michigan cannabis brands coming to Ohio would do better for Ohio, seeing that it's super new?
Yeah, being able to provide that quality that we just alluded to a new market and a place where people are, I'm sure, hungry for great cannabis and are looking for that experience and looking to have that experience all over the state and sometimes have that experience for the first time. I'm sure that many of these Michigan brands would love to provide that experience to the people of Ohio.
For sure. What's some of your favorite strands from the Candela brand?
So in Candela, some of the things that I'm excited about is I love our shrimp cream pie. It's so stable, so awesome. It's creamy, gassy, that very classic sherb profile. I love our log cabin OG, which is just like a classic OG profile, very limey, very zesty. It's got that kind of classic old school Cali kind bud vibe to it. I also love our Apollo, which is like cheesy, funky, almost got that Jack Hare kind of, again, OG kind of Jack Hare kind of vibes. And so, those are just a couple of the ones that I'm excited about in our garden.
Outside of those strands, what would be like your top 5 or Mount Rushmore of cannabis strains?
I feel that's an interesting question. I like that question. I'm definitely, the nostalgia in me says I'm drawn to those pre-98 Bubbas and some of that stuff that we were talking about earlier. I definitely like a good pre-98 Bubba. I really loved like Tangerine Dream that first time it came around. I think that won the Cannabis Cup in 08 or something, a very original version of Tangerine Dream. I really love a great like Sherb or Gary Payton, something with that new dessert that has that new dessert profile kind of we were talking about, that like cream gas kind of vibe. I like very much like things like that. So like a Gary Payton or a Sherb. And then I love a OG Kush profile. I mean, that log cabin or like a classic OG, a true OG Kush profile would definitely probably round out my top 5 there.
Yeah, I like I miss some of those older strands like Granddaddy Perp. Sour Diesel.
Sour Diesel's great. I love it when things have diesel tones to it, for sure.
Those Bubba Kushes, like those early 2010 strands, like I really miss those strands. I really feel like they seem like they're harder to find, and I feel like it would be a great if a lot of brands would bring that nostalgia back in of those early 2010 strands.
Absolutely. We are pheno hunting some American Skunk right now and also pheno hunting some pre-98. So we'll see what we can do and see if we can get a couple of those back running for us.
So I kind of understand what that means, but for the people who don't understand what that means, what exactly is pheno hunting?
So pheno hunting is when you're trying something new, and let's say you're popping something from seed, and so you're trying all these different versions from seed or even from clone, and they're all gonna express differently and have different phenos. And so a pheno is just a different version of the same plant. Okay. And so we will select the best, most suitable version out of those phenos. So if there's 4 different phenos of the pre-98 Bubba, we'll select the best one that most suits our grow and most suits our conditions.
What is a rare pheno that you have found that is specific that speaks to your brand and that defines what Candela is?
Absolutely. Our lemon Oreos, which we just put it into Best in Grass, is one of ours that's proprietary. So we popped that from seed and hunted that out all ourselves. Our grower, Mike McCandless, did a great job selecting and hunting that out. And it has that, it was that very astringent lemon one that we smelled in the cure room earlier. And so that is very, just a great example of what we're able to do when we're, hunting our own phenos. And also our G13 skunk, that other one that I was referencing earlier that we put into Best in Grass, is a very skunky, very zesty indica, which is just, it's nice and interesting to have that flavor profile be attached to an indica, to a heavy hitter.
Out of the strands not out of the strands, but strands that you could think of, what is a few strands that you would like to bring to Candela?
Ooh, that's a great question. Yeah, I would love to see like a Tangy or, something like that, like that we were talking about, Tangerine Dream, or like a tangelope, like that kind of vibe, that sweet citrus. You know,
Yeah.
you see so much astringent stuff and so much that has that bite and that rind and that bitterness to it, where I would like something a little bit sweeter, a little more
Yeah.
sugary, a little more floral, perhaps. I would love to see something like that. I love strains like Bubba. Yeah, I would love it if that Bubba comes around and does the thing. I would love it if the pre-98 Bubba will do the thing. And then I also like, I would love to continue to search for a classic OG. We had one that was called Northern Legend OG that had a true like piney, diesel-y, almost like outdoorsy, earthy floral smell. And I just absolutely loved that. I truly like that piney, like pine sol, astringent kind of vibe, and that was nice. That was just a nice, interesting flavor profile.
How big do these debates get when you guys as a team are trying to figure out, okay, I want this strand or I want this strand? Like, is it like, do you guys find you guys debating about it, or is it just like, hey, this is what we want?
It really is just X's and O's with what does best in the grow.
Okay.
You know, with what takes best to the grow, it all comes down to how those are looking, how they're stacking, how they're frosting, how they're yielding, how they smell, how they look in a bag. And so we really trust our grow to make those decisions based on what is most conducive to their growing environment.
Right. So speaking of that, I know we talked about it in the tour side of the episode, but could you speak more into that? Like, what elements of different genetics, strains, clones make it conducive to more of a commercial grow versus like an outdoor grow? Because I know we spoke about it earlier, but could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Absolutely. So yeah, as we were talking about some of those older strains, like they are used to high pressure sodium as opposed to LED lights, where so a lot of these newer genetics, they just naturally take more to the LED and will just naturally grow better under the LED. And that goes for the same with the amount of space that they have. Some of the genetics can handle being all in a room together, and some need a little more space to do their thing. I'm glad that we have our single tier and our double tier rooms, so we can kind of find the balance between that. But yeah, so those things coupled with yield, you know, how big are they looking, how well are they stacking, how nice are the buds looking, as well as terps. Are the terps expressing the way we want them to? Are the flavor profiles coming out the way that we want them to? And also the bag appeal, how are the trichomes looking? Is it shiny? Is it high in THC? Those are just a few of the things that we're looking for when we're selecting strains.
So going back to what you just said, as far as like the singles and the doubles, like, do they progress the same, or are they on a different track based off of the difference?
We are mostly all on the same schedule. We'll maybe be able to give the single tier a couple days to stretch here and there.
Okay.
But not too much. They're mostly all on the same schedule for growing.
Got you. Speak about the working environment here. Like, I see how everybody is very like upbeat. People are excited to be here. Like, just talk about like the working environment here and how people seem like they love to work here and they respect and honor the brand.
Absolutely. So yeah, we definitely, you know, as cheesy as it can sound, we are definitely a family here. You know, like when we walk out at the end of the night, I tell a lot of these people here that I love them. You know, like That's real. A family environment. We all take care of each other. We all care about this plant. We're in a small town. We want this grow to succeed and continue to benefit our small town, as well as continuing to put high quality product out. And so just that family environment is, it keeps things nice and fun and exciting. Yeah.
The reason why I love going to grows and seeing tours is that a lot of times you see them in smaller cities like this. And I love that these smaller cities are being boosted by cannabis. So could you, for somebody that's from here and have seen the city progress, how does it feel now to know that cannabis is really boosting the economy within this city?
It's so lovely. And yeah, I've seen the amount of kids in our schools grow as people come in with their new jobs. I can feel the benefit on the hardware store when all of us grows are going down to the hardware store because we need something, you know, Like I can see the benefit at the grocery store when all of us are standing in line at noon to get our lunch from the deli. Like you can feel the benefit everywhere of having not only more people in our town, but a nice vibe, you know, like people who are happy to go to their jobs at various cannabis places around Chesning. And that has been, it's it's improved our community by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, 100%. But I understand that you get the grasp. But do you think people in the community really like understand like the grasp, the complexity of like how you guys and the other people in this cannabis community in this city are really like boosting the economy? Like this is like you guys are going to see like, you know, big differences, like more construction may get better, like like bigger restaurants or bigger like businesses. Like, do you feel like people really understand like you guys are a pillar to this community?
Yeah, you know, there's always pushback, you know, wherever you go, but as a whole, I would say people generally are incredibly receptive and thankful and understand what any business, you know, to a small town, any business is huge, and any, you know, company coming in and giving a bunch of people jobs is an absolutely beautiful thing in almost all cases. And so I feel like people are starting to see the benefits of that and are starting to feel just the net positive that it has been for cannabis to become one of the biggest employment sectors in Chesning. It would definitely be between like us and just regular manufacturing jobs and maybe like the school or something that I would say would be the biggest employment sectors in Chesaning.
Did you ever think it would be like this as far as cannabis in the city?
Couldn't have never possibly imagined coming from this small town. We really are a beautiful small town. We had a music festival in our town for my entire life growing up. We actually had one of the longest running music festivals in the state of Michigan. It was very much like geared towards an older vibe, you know, like very much like casino bands kind of. So, you know, it was like an older vibe, but it was still a beautiful event that people would come into our community for. And so we have always had that kind of a hippie vibe because we have a lot of music and, you know, that kind of vibe in our community. And so to see that come forth and us being one of the first to opt in and how it's benefited our community, I mean, that just goes to show what having that positive vibe can get you, you know?
What would you say to the naysayers or people on the fence that are not quite understanding or don't fully grasp what you guys are doing for the community?
100%. You know, one of the plain answers would be the times are always changing, and this is what is, you know, this is the way that it is now. You know, in simplest terms, this is the way it is now, and this is how young people are getting jobs and are able to afford houses in the village and are able to enroll their children in school and watch our school grow by, you know, all these kids coming into it. And just, I would say that try to see it through the lens of a person who has benefited from this job, and mostly all these young people who have benefited from this job, and just try to see that can only be good. And, you know, people being employed and happy and successful and healthy and well taken care of in your community is all you can ask for, no matter how you get there. You know, and I would just ask for them to put the lens on of this is for our community, and this is for the people in our community, and this is as good a thing as we could hope to come in. You know, what would you all rather have us doing? Would you rather have us all be digging holes? You know, like all of these young people are so, you know, and people in general are so thankful to have these jobs at cannabis facilities. And how can that not be a good thing? You know?
But I always feel like even with the cannabis industry, I feel like it always could get better. It's for the simple fact that, you know, like dispensaries, you have to use like an ATM. Like they don't have like the ability to use like, you know, your card or credit card or different things. Like some people who work at facilities in some places are deprived of like housing. Like, oh, you work at a cannabis place, like so. Like, what are some things that you would like to see different within the cannabis space, not just in Michigan, but all over?
In general, being a bit of a hippie, I would say one of the banes of our existence is the single-use plastic, man. As I was alluding to, the biodegradable tube, I would love to get rid of some single-use plastic and do a little bit better by Mother Earth with the cannabis business. I know it's a tall order. I know it's tough. I know there's, you know, tough ways to avoid it, and a recycling program is going to be a pain in the butt. And yada yada, but I would love to see us move towards some kind of biodegradable solution or some kind of more earth-friendly solution for our packaging. And single-use plastic is tough. It's tough.
Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, just the single-use plastic, just like stuff that is immediately going to go into landfills after. I would love to have some kind of recycling program. Think of if we had a tube recycling program. Think of if we had a Mylar bag recycling program. I would love to get something that is a little more eco-friendly. And yeah, our MI6 brand has our biodegradable tube, and it's just so nice to not have that extra little bit of plastic. So just as a cannabis industry as a whole, I know that's a tall order and an altruistic thing that I'm looking for, but it would definitely be nice to move away a little bit from single-use plastic as a cannabis industry as a whole, for sure.
So like as far as you guys brand, do you feel like y'all will pioneer that trend?
Yeah, we're already working towards that. Yep, we try to go craft paper when we can. We try to go biodegradable tube when we can. We've worked on a couple different solutions here and there, like our hash rosin cartridges are all cardboard and like craft paper kind of vibes. So doing what we can where we can. Pre-pack is tough, Mylar bag. You got to kind of have a Mylar bag. There's really no other solution to keeping cannabis fresh and safe and compliant, And so, yeah, that's something I think that we need to have as a conversation as a whole, as the industry, and just hopefully in the future try to work towards that would be super awesome.
Talk about the packaging, because that's something that as a consumer, that's one of the first things that grabs people's attention and different things. So from you being heavy into marketing, talk about the importance of packaging and branding your brand within that packaging.
Absolutely. As we all know, shelf space is always at a premium at a dispensary. You're always tucked in there amongst a million other products. And so to stand out and to have some beautiful packaging is super beneficial. We also like to make it easier on our bud tenders. Our Candela packaging is, we have a little hybrid giraffe, we have a little sativa cheetah, and we have a little indica sloth. So anything that we can do to make that grab a little quicker and a little easier, and like, oh, I'm grabbing this sherbet cream pie indica because it's got this little sloth. We wanted to do anything that we can to make our bud tenders and our partners' lives easier in that regard. So not only do we want to stand out on shelves and have some bright, exciting, cute packaging, but we also want to make it easy and compliant with our bud tenders and our partners. And that finding the balance of that is the perfect packaging.
Speaking of that, when you go to these different dispensaries and events, how important is bud tender education, and what are you guys doing to educate bud tenders so they can represent your brand but understand the different powers and dynamics of what you guys provide?
Absolutely. Bud tender education is hugely important to us. As you've seen with some of our products, some of them are pretty complex. They have a lot of, ingredients. For like our donuts have hash rosin and THCA and keef and whole flour, and just kind of getting your head around that is a huge part of it, and being able to speak to these products eloquently. We so greatly appreciate that with our bud tenders. And so we have me and some brand ambassadors, and we go around and we do bud tender educations when we can and drop some samples off and just try to offer as much information and as much help as we can to our bud tenders to make them explaining these products easier.
Do you feel like they are receptive to the information that you are educating them on?
Incredibly, yeah. Often we're coming in at 8 in the morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I'm sure that it's tough to always want to be there, and still people are incredibly receptive. When we're doing the thing early in the morning and people are ready to learn, we're so thankful for that and so thankful for the reception.
Yeah. From you personally, like, how would you? What changes would you like to see, or additions to the brand that you would like to see as far as with Candela?
I'm always excited about new strains. It's always excited to keep things fun and exclusive and fresh for everyone. Always exciting to get these new strains and these new flavors out there. And we're always trying to innovate with our products as well. So we just released our 2-gram snowballs. So we have a nug coated in live resin and then dusted with THCA. And so they're super potent, super frosty little premium quality cannabis nugs. And we have our double glazed donut minis, which is a big smaller version of our big donut. And so we're always just trying to be innovative and bring these new, fun, exciting products to the market.
So those for those products that you just mentioned, what type of feedback do you get on those? But specifically the first one, because I've never heard of that one before. I know exactly what you're talking about, but for people that's gonna watch this, like, could you describe the two products a little bit more in depth, and then just
Absolutely.
the feedback that you get from them?
Yeah, so our snowballs, we start with just our regular Candela flower, just a smaller nug of our Candela flower. There's 2 grams in there, and it's coated in high terpene, high potency live resin, and then dusted in THCA. So it'll look like a moon rock, but a little bit lighter, sparklier, and higher potency. They're coming in around 50, 60. And so you can take that, you can break it down, and you can put it in a bowl, or if you maybe mix it with a little bit of regular flour, you could roll it up in a joint or a blunt if you mix it in with a little bit of regular flour. And the same with our moon rocks. We have Candela flower coated in high terpene live resin and then dusted in our single source keef. So we keep our keef, all our keef separate, so that we know what strain of keef that you guys are getting on the moon rocks, and so we can have the full flavor profile for our moon rocks. And then we also have our double glazed donuts, which are keef, THCA, hash rosin, infused flour. So we've got a 1.5 total infused with keef, THCA, and hash rosin. It's got a THCA tip and a jellied hash rosin center.
Got you. Out of those options, which one would be your go-to?
So kind of our flagship product is our double glazed donut. That's what we're most
Nice.
known for. Those are all coming in around 40, 50%. They're nice, even, smooth experience and super high potency.
Nice. I definitely got to try that. I love the complex of how you explain each product. It for a consumer, it would make it very enticing just to be able to have those different options. Because if you are a person that likes the donuts, you have an answer for that. The people who like moon rock but not moon rock, you have those, and then you have the actual moon rock that makes it even like a better way to choose between the options.
Absolutely. We try to have a little something for everyone, from all budgets, from all vibes, from all flavor profiles. We just want to get you the weed that you want in your hands.
Yeah. Any shout outs you want to give out?
I'd love to shout out this incredible crew. Six Labs is awesome. I would love to shout out from top to bottom, from production, all the people you met earlier, all the way to sales and marketing, all the way to our owners. I would love to shout out this incredible Six Labs crew and our whole team. And I would love to shout out our community of Chesning for supporting us. I love my tiny little hometown.
For sure. I want to thank you for coming on the platform and being so generous with your time, with your communication. You've been top tier as far as before we got here, while we've been here, doing the content, doing this mini episode, and you've been a pillar in the cannabis community. We don't really have a lot of people who are just genuine, who are hospitable and genuine people. So we appreciate you for allowing us to travel here in your time.
The pleasure is truly mine.
All right, this was Smoke Sun Podcast. It's the Visionary Mind. I see it, I think it, I make it happen. Till next time.